Understanding the obligations of business associates is essential in fostering a secure business relationship, particularly in sectors dealing with sensitive information. These obligations not only enhance trust between parties, but also ensure that crucial regulations, such as HIPAA, are met. With the responsibility of protecting protected health information, PHI, resting heavily on their shoulders, business associates must implement rigorous measures to safeguard this data while aligning with stringent guidelines. The obligations and responsibilities of business associates are crucial aspects of maintaining a strong business relationship between two parties. In this tutorial, we will explore the key obligations and responsibilities that business associates have, specifically in relation to business associate agreements, BAAs. Understanding these obligations is vital for both parties involved, as it ensures compliance with HIPAA regulations and safeguards the protection of sensitive data. Safeguarding PHI, protected health information. Implementing appropriate safeguards to protect the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of PHI. ISOMONT, conducting regular risk assessments to identify potential vulnerabilities and threats that could compromise PHI, establishing and maintaining physical, administrative, and technical safeguards to protect PHI, ensuring that all employees are adequately trained on the proper handling of PHI, promptly reporting any breaches or unauthorized access to PHI to the covered entity. 2. Compliance with HIPAA regulations, adhering to all applicable provisions of the HIPAA Privacy Rule, Security Rule, and Breach Notification Rule. Ensuring that appropriate policies and procedures are in place to comply with HIPAA regulations, designating a privacy officer and a security officer to oversee compliance efforts, conducting regular audits to assess compliance with HIPAA regulations, business associate agreement, BAA obligations, entering into a written agreement with the covered entity that outlines the specific obligations and responsibilities of both parties, complying with the terms of the BAA, including any restrictions on the use or disclosure of PHI, notifying the covered entity of any changes in business practices that may affect the privacy or security of PHI, implementing safeguards to prevent the use or disclosure of PHI in violation of the BAA, providing access to PHI for individuals as required by the covered entity, cooperating with the covered entity in investigating and mitigating any breaches or unauthorized access to PHI for subcontractors and their obligations, ensuring that any subcontractors or agents who have access to PHI also comply with HIPAA regulations, including appropriate provisions in subcontractor agreements that require compliance with HIPAA regulations. HIPAA, monitoring the performance of subcontractors to ensure compliance with HIPAA regulations, taking appropriate action if a subcontractor violates HIPAA regulations, including terminating their access to PHI if necessary, record keeping and documentation, maintaining documentation of all policies, procedures, and security measures in place to protect PHI, retaining records of all disclosures of PHI as required by HIPAA regulations, retaining documentation of all BAAs and subcontractor agreements, conducting regular audits to ensure that all required documentation is complete and up to date, responding to inquiries and complaints, promptly responding to inquiries from individuals about their rights to access or amend their PHI. MISWEN, resolving any complaints or concerns related to the privacy or security of PHI, cooperating with the covered entity in investigating and responding to any complaints or inquiries from individuals. By understanding and fulfilling these obligations and responsibilities, business associates can establish a strong foundation for a successful and compliant business relationship with covered entities. It is essential to regularly review and update these obligations to stay current with changing regulations and evolving best practices in the industry.